Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first episode of Nerd Talk. We talk about a new game that just released, I think, around November 30th, called Fangs. The recording kind of got cut off at the start, so we jumped midway through about me talking about Fangs, but Fangs is a MOBA type game similar to like Battlerite. This video will start with me talking about how the game mode works and how the rounds are, and then we'll continue into other nerd talk. This is our first episode of Nerd Talk. I hope you guys enjoy.
The thing about it is that left side, right side, and it's just like you have like little grass areas where you can go in and like hide and be stealthy and stuff like that. You can be invisible. Well, not necessarily invisible. If they walk in the bush, they can see you. But yeah, just unique characters, different types of abilities and stuff like that. So you'll have like certain hotkeys like left click, right click, shift, space. They do different abilities and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the aspect where it feels like tug of war is that you're trying to clear like the other team and basically move your characters into their circle. And if you like stand there long enough, your team wins a round. At least that was the game mode I was playing. I don't know if they have other types of game modes, but
yeah,
it was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely want to try it out, and it's like free to play, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those coming out now.
I've noticed that this year feels like a whole lot of good free-to-play games. What, is Omega Strikers free?
Yeah, Omega Strikers. Overwatch 2 is like free, right?
Overwatch 2 is free? Yeah, sure. Not as much as in like an indie game or something, but...
Right, yeah.
I've just noticed the quality of indie games and the concepts people are coming up with lately is making it almost like I would rather play the indie games than like the popular titles.
Well, dude, I think that's the principle of like you look at people say, I don't watch like professional sports, but they like college sports because they still they want to like make a name for themselves, right?
Yeah,
so they still have that passion and that heart and soul they try to put into something.
Mm-hmm.
That's like indie games, right? Where it's like to stand out, they have to make a really good product.
So. I agree, and I think that they get the ability to focus more on the aspect of fun, where I feel like AAA companies that create like cool, graphically intensive games and stuff like that, they don't get as much of an opportunity to say, hey, is this fun? Or their play tests and stuff like that. They just get people and hire them, and then they're there for their job and their money. Right. It's just like this game's fun. Obviously, objectively, it's fun. But I feel like they get to spend so much more time as an indie company to say, hey, is this really fun? Because they're worried about their sales, and they're worried about if they spend a year and a half, are they going to make money off this shit?
Right, and they don't have a whole board of directory of people shutting down ideas.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I'll just mention there's a game I was stoked on.
Yeah.
The name slipped me, but I saw it in a video, Nihongo Gamer. He does a lot of fight games, so like fighting games in general. And this one, basically, it's an indie game that it's in alpha right now, and it takes the premise of like Street Fighter and Smash Bros. And all these elements. There's like platforms. It pretty much incorporates every fighting game. Oh. Really cool illustrations, graphics, but it's just a small team, bro.
What is the game called?
I don't know the name.
Name.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to talk on that, I'm going to pull that up real quick.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. So that's what I'm saying is I feel like a lot of these games, they're doing better than AAA titles sometimes, or I at least feel like you get a better experience. Maybe their sales aren't better.
Yeah, so I ended up looking it up. The game's called Resistance 204X. But what made me think about it is he had made a comment saying, wow, like this actually, I feel more invested. Like it's more impressive than like the AAA games as far as like the intro and just the illustration poppiness. Like you're surprised.
Yeah.
And he didn't say that verbatim, but essentially he was just surprised that it looked as good as it did.
Yeah. That brings up a thought in my brain, right? It's like with some of these guys that work in AAA titles and then some of these guys that work with smaller games is that, it really comes down to the fruit of the effort and like how much they can put into it. Because I feel like when you work in a AAA title or if you work for any sort of big company like that, you have to do things like by the book, by their standards, by their protocol. And so you're stuck there, you're working on a specific task or whatever. And it might just be for something so small. And, maybe their heart's not there with a lot of these people. You got like 400 people working on one game. I don't even know the numbers,
Right.
but a shit ton of people working on a game, and it's like, hey, guess what? You're here to do today. You're here to make the leg joint bend.
Right.
Oh,
right,
I'm
yeah.
so passionate about that. Oh, that's so fucking sick, right? Like, you can't
Yeah.
be stoked. Whereas, like, an indie developer, you're a team of 4 or 5. Everyone's putting an equal amount of, like, passion and work into it. They might be working long hours. Maybe they're working off rev share. I don't know what gives these people the steam to make this stuff, but it's really incredible sometimes.
It's impressive. You see even existing games, just, fans taking things like the modding community for a lot of games, and just how passionate people are. Like, even with Smash, when you saw like Project M back in the day, or what they did with Melee, rollback netcode, like that the company itself isn't doing, but people have a love for the game are doing.
Right, yeah.
So, it's the same principle,
We both know our roommate Ryan. He just walked in the door a second ago, but he mods Skyrim to the point where it's just incredible. And like that, the modding communities for certain games and stuff like that, especially Skyrim, is just crazy. The amount of passion and effort they put into something to make it much better than the game itself, where this is a AAA title like full of developers, and sure I'm sure they did more work, but you know what I mean? All the cool stuff.
Definitely.
All the cool stuff, right?
Yeah, it starts at the bottom there. And not to say that it's lacking in AAA games, but it seems like things start to get diluted as you build and there's more people working on a game and it's more structured and you have a time frame where if it's a bunch of people that are like, we're doing this for fun.
Yeah.
It's not even our day job. Like, there's more leniency to like, let's put it out exactly how we want. So
true. And I gotta say, that's probably the case with most things. You do something for the facts of the enjoyment and stuff like that, you're gonna do a better job than just being another cog in the wheel. Fucking working at like Amazon or something, being a picker. It's tough. It's tough to do shit like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good a lot of times, but when you do something, you run your own business, something like that, you're going to put more effort into it, just hands down.
No, absolutely, yeah.
You're going to do a better job. Sometimes it's better to go to like the local deli shop than it is to go to fucking Subway because the sandwich is better.
The sandwich is better. That's what it comes down to. If the sandwich is better,
the sandwich is better.
They care about what they're putting into that.
Ethereal slices of heaven, the meat sliced with love. Let's move on.
What are you talking into right now? There's no mic in front of us. This is like some straight sorcery, my guy.
Yeah, so the magic of all this is it's called lav mics. These were recently picked up because we want to branch out and start doing like different types of content and things like that. So we went ahead and we picked up I don't know what these are called, but let me just show it off a little bit.
It looks dope.
Yeah.
It definitely, it seems like they had an aesthetic call when they were putting together this product,
Yeah. And just like most AAA game developers and stuff like that, we're not those guys. We're the indie developer creators here, content creation and stuff like that. So we wanted to find some lav mics that we can use. We're about to see how this sounds and stuff. Like, this is really our first time using it in a piece of content. But this is called like the Hallmark V1 or something like that. I'll have to double check and edit the description, maybe provide a link for it. It's not sponsored. Of course it's not sponsored. Nobody's. But
is it easy to use?
It's been pretty neat. We've tested it the other day. It sounded pretty cool. This thing was like $125.
Not bad.
Other lav mics that we were researching and stuff like that were like $400. I want to say.
I mean, technically, this came with 2. Like, we're each using one right now. So
it came with 2. I think the focus for these guys here for Hallmark and stuff is for people to use it with their, if they were to be doing like vlogging and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like it connects into your camera. It can connect into your phone and stuff like that. So it's pretty nifty in that regard. But we picked up a USB adapter. So over there, we can't pull it out. Obviously, we're using the lav mics right now, but it's a USB adapter that goes into a auxiliary jack.
Okay.
So we take the receiver and we plug it into that auxiliary jack, and that's how we use it with the computers, because we're primarily going to be using the lav mics with the computer just for making YouTube content and things like that.
So for layman's terms, you know, if you guys aren't familiar with things like auxiliary jack, it's just past the aux. You get past the aux,
Yeah.
you're halfway there. So you're like, oh, the aux, yeah.
The
so
aux, yeah.
that's the easy.
Same sort of hookup, right? I guess in a technical sense, you could take this and plug it into someone's car stereo and pull a little prank on them, like, I can see you.
No way.
That's fucking weird.
like where people like hack into like the Google Nest and stuff, you know? They're like talking through, or like Ring doorbells.
Right, right. Oh my God. Anyways, yeah, I'll provide a link in the description of like what this is. But yeah, this is something really cool for any small content creators looking to do unique things, not looking to be stuck into their chair and in front of a Shure SM7B or even an M7, I think is the one I use. But really, really cool thing for streamers and content creators. Check it out if the video sounds good. We're not sponsored. Fuck them.
Not fuck them. If they want to sponsor
Yeah, oh,
us,
you want to sponsor us?
we love them. But, you know, like, fuck just them. Not them, but just them.
Them.
You know?
Not them, but them.
Like the man, but many.
The man,
The
but
men.
many of men's.
And not just everyone. Fuck everyone. You know, fuck the community.
Yeah, that was something that was really funny that happened the other day. He said he said he was in his room, I don't know, watching anime or something like that. But I was playing Rocket League and I was streaming, and a couple of toxic guys came to my Rocket League games and they were saying, "Oh, boosted GC, boosted GC." I ended up finishing Rocket League. I was like, you know what? Fuck Rocket League. Fuck the community. I got sick of it.
Fuck
Okay?
the king.
But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. If you want to see some more, definitely like the video then. Thanks for hanging out with us. This was the first episode of Nerd Talk. High five.
Peace.
Subscribe to support.